Our Sunday showcase game this week, the Louisville Wolfpack, their home opener. The first time the Louisville Wolfpack will play a home game since their return to sim football. Last played in 2012. San Francisco Bulldogs 1-0 coming to town. Second down and 7 as Lane takes the handoff around the left-hand side. Dwayne Lane, first down and more. Gets some nice blocks to midfield. And Dwayne Lane, a second half back. At least he was last week against Orlando. Picks up a first down. And Jordan Jennings really laid it on Alexander Brown on that play. First down and 10 from the 50. Back to throw is West. Checks it down. Pass caught. 4-yard gain. Here's a look at the quarterback numbers. A full stat sheet, no doubt about that tonight. Coming up on 7.5 to go in the third, and the Pride still hanging on. Despite Baltimore's excellent efforts defensively. Second and 6 at the 46-yard line, 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Ball on the right hash. Hand off the Lane. Lane up the middle, a 3-yard pickup. Will set up a third and short. Our Money Monday game this week is also a battle of undefeateds. The Honolulu Legends will take on the Santa Fe Gorillas in the Legends home opener. Last 2 Money Mondays, we've awarded money to T Paternity, Big Willie 54. As that pass is knocked away by Brown. Incomplete, will set up a 4th down. Blackwell also there. And more great defense down the field from Baltimore's secondary. Last couple of winners, L Marshall, JR 89, won Monday. And Landry had also won Monday.
Oh yeah, Butter, I'm coming. I'm locking in.
4th down and 3. The Pride have to punt it away. Baltimore comes after it, can't get to it. Boston's kick will go down to the 8-yard line. That is the second time Boston has pinned Baltimore back inside their 10. Really should have been their 3rd without a special team screw-up. And that one angled right out of bounds. That was a beautiful kick. First and 10 from the 8. This could be the Crab drive. First and 10 from the 8. Flip pass outside to Snyder, and you just see Snyder just not a lot of open space. McCormick and a linebacker there to make the stop. Just a 3-yard gain. Second and 7. Snyder approaching 10 receptions. In fact, that might have been his 10th. Second down, 7 at the 11-yard line, 3 in the backfield. Hand off to Snyder, and he is wrapped up as that is Lee again. Floyd Lee is putting his fingerprints all over this contest. He has got 8 tackles at the defensive tackle position. He is not letting Elliott Snyder do anything in between the tackles. 3rd down and 9 from the 9-yard line. Play action, Mike Dazzo, the lefty down the middle. It's going to be open. It's a foot race with Mixon, and he makes the tackle at the 41-yard line. First down, Crabs. One heck of a throw by Dazzo. And again, Ivan Mixon. Too slow to cover D.R. Sim, who's been Mr. Big Play tonight. First and 10 of the Pride 41-yard line. Crabs on the move. 4 receivers set. Dazzo to throw. Dazzo has time deep to the right-hand side. The pass is dropped again and nearly taken away. Outdat is having some trouble tonight. Could have been another touchdown play for Outdat. And at this point, I mean, Outdat has dropped 2 touchdown passes, and DR Sim has a touchdown catch and a big-time conversion just a couple of plays ago on 3rd down. You just can't look Outdat's way anymore. Back to pass. Dazzo short over the middle. 3-yard pickup, and that's just a confidence booster for Outdat. If you can't catch a 3-yard route, what can you catch? 3rd down with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Got to get his head back in the game. Luke Johnson, a couple of sacks tonight, while Taylor and Lee are garnering focus from the Baltimore offensive front. Dazzo back to pass on a 3rd and long. Pressure from the right side. Dazzo got crushed. That was Johnson again. Dazzo was spun down, as we're not going to get to see it. Instead, we see Grant knocking the ball away, again intended for Outdat, but the Pride defense comes up with a stop, and they will force the punt team out on the field. Mike Dazzo is going to need to sit in the ice tub, maybe until the fireworks are over on Saturday.
Ain't no quitting around here.
Just shy of murder as the kick is away. Inside the 10, a good punt here from Baltimore. Down to the 2, and it will be down to the 4-yard line. Excellent job by the Crabs. Both punters tonight have done a great job pinning teams deep. And after a wild first quarter in which we saw 4 scores on the first 4 possessions of the game, both defenses have played basically lights out. In fact, since then, just 1 touchdown on the board offensively. Toss play and offside call as, again, Dwayne Lane picks up the first down around the left-hand side. Lane living over there in the 3rd quarter. The penalty will be declined.
Neutral zone infraction, number 94. Defense.
So Lane, who had just 5 rushing yards in the first half, has about 40 here in the second, as Blackwell made the tackle. First down and 10 at the 21. It's been a rough couple of quarters for Alexander West after his blistering start, but the Pride still have a 5-point lead. Offside again for Baltimore as West goes down the field. It's knocked away. Looking for Kelvin Kidd. More great coverage down the field by Blackwell, but it'll result in a 1st and 5. Back-to-back offsides by the Crabs.
Neutral zone infraction, number 96. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
Baltimore has made a lot of mistakes tonight. A couple of offside penalties, dropped some wide open touchdowns, thrown some interceptions, won a pick 6. They really have shot themselves in the foot. Brown with 2 picks, going for the rare hat trick of interceptions. 1st and 5 at the 26-yard line. And the handoff goes to Lane. Up the gut, 1st down to the 35-yard line. Dwayne Lane with some lanes in between the tackles here in the 3rd quarter. And that just met the Crabs at the line of attack as Henry Hittner makes the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 35. Tallahassee on the move. The drive started from the 5-yard line. And offside again for Baltimore. West floats it down the field, and that's incomplete, but it won't matter. Alexander West, like Marconi, a keen ability to
Neutral zone infraction. Number
get
96,
teams bouncing off their three-point stance, and
first down.
I'm not sure if we've ever seen 3 offsides back to back to back that quickly. Baltimore fans don't like the sloppiness out of the Crabs tonight in their home opener. First down and 5 from the 40-yard line. Showing blitz is Baltimore. They come with it, and Lane will be crushed. Naoli on the tackle. Lane has bounced back, averaging 4.3 yards a carry tonight. But it brings up second down and 8. Down to 3:40 to go in the third quarter. High formation, 7 in the box for Baltimore, showing an outside blitz. Come with it, and Lane will try to run up the middle, and he will be hit pretty hard by Hittner. A 1-yard gain will set up a 3rd and 7. Joe Dazzo's quiet night continues. Hittner has stepped up. Baltimore's crowd not as loud as they usually are tonight. The Crabs have been down literally the entire game. But they get loud on a 3rd down and 7 here for West, and he's going to hand it off to Lane up the middle on a draw. Lane trying to bounce to the outside. He will not be able to. Joe Dazzo comes up big, and again, the Baltimore defense gets a stop. Despite the Pride driving 33 yards and Baltimore jumping offside 3 times, it doesn't cost them any points. And the defensive showdown here on Thursday Night Football continues as these two teams are battling for the right to be 2-0, joining the New York Knights atop the SFL standings. The punt return up to the 27-yard line, and we certainly haven't said that a lot tonight. One of the first punt returns by either team in this game. .22 to go here in the third quarter. The expansion Pride taking on the Baltimore Crabs, who have hosted a playoff game each of the last 2 seasons. Each season they've been in existence. And the Pride making an impression right now, up by 5. As Dazzo drops to throw. Dazzo will nail it down the left-hand side. The pass incomplete. Sim blanketed by McCormick. Just 4 catches tonight for DR, but they have been crucial. Not that time, brings up 2nd and 10. Three in the backfield. Snyder right-hand side will only pick up 2. Why? Floyd Lee and Ivan Mixon. Couple of silvers there for the stop. 3rd and 8. Elliott Snyder continues to struggle. Snyder coming into the game. Just 8th in the league in rushing, averaging 105 yards per contest. 3rd down and 8 for Dazzo. Dazzo's in trouble, sacked. 6-yard loss. That was Ebenezer Taylor who took him off his feet. 4th and 16. Tallahassee's defensive line definitely has some talent, as Ebenezer left his feet to nail Mike Dazzo to the turf. And Baltimore has to punt. Tallahassee winning the field position battle, that's for sure. At least they flipped it around after the good punt from Baltimore, and they will start their next possession from the 41-yard line. Ebenezer Taylor leads the league with 3 sacks in 2 games. Alexander Brown, the rookie, both are rookies, lead the league in interceptions with 3. First and 10 with 1:16 to go in the quarter. Ball at the 41 for the Pride. At one point up by 15, still have not given up the lead tonight. 3 receivers as West drops to throw, fires right side. West knocked away by Kenneth Lyons. And Alexander West, who was having a field day in the first quarter, is having a really hard time completing really anything down the field. Here's a look at Kelvin Kidd, who, defended by Lyons most of the night, has been well covered. 2 receivers to the short side left. And they'll hand it off to Dwayne Lane, and Lane will shake off a tackle, and he will churn forward for a 7-yard pickup. Blackwell on his 4th tackle, but Dwayne Lane has actually been the best course of action for Tallahassee in the 3rd quarter. You can definitely tell Baltimore started focusing on the pass pretty quickly after Jordan Jennings got going, and as a consequence, Dwayne Lane has picked up his game a little bit. 3rd down and 3. West back to pass. West fires down the middle of the field. Caught at the 32 by Jordan Jennings. And he says enough is enough and gets back on track. A tough catch to make. Dwayne Blackwell all over him. In fact, the Crabs could have been called for PI there. Draped on the back of Jennings, it didn't matter. A huge 3rd down conversion for the Pride. They are in scoring position. 1st and 10 at the 32. Down to 9 seconds to go in the quarter. And the handoff goes to Lane, and that ends the 3rd quarter of play. It'll be 2nd down and 8 when we come back. To Wayland Corporate Field. Tallahassee 21, Baltimore 16. For the 2nd straight week, New York Knight running back Parkee Chul is your Week 2 Performer of the Week. Parkee Chul now leads the league in all-purpose yards with 706 after another brilliant performance against the DC Dragons in Week 2. Through 2 games, Parkee Chul has 475 rushing yards and 231 receiving yards, the 2nd leading receiver in the league, behind Greg Corky, who has 304 total yards. Parkee Chul averaging 12.2 yards a catch on 19 catches. Congratulations to Parkee Chul for once again being named the SFL's Week 2 Performer of the Week. The Knights are 2-0 and on a bye week in Week 3. Start of the 4th quarter here from Wayland Corporate Field in Baltimore, Maryland, as West throws it over the middle for a 6-yard completion to Asante Dolman. That'll set up a 3rd and 2 at the 24, and it inches Tallahassee closer to the end zone and most certainly in field goal range now. Down and 2 at the 24, 2 backs and 2 receivers. West will pass, and West will fire it into triple coverage, and we have seen that a lot out of West, trying to force the ball to Jordan Jennings here in the 2nd half. Now only 8 catches on 14 targets, and Baltimore keeps this a 1-score game successfully. West just trying to force the action a bit too much down the field, and it's cost him and cost the team valuable energy and momentum on drives here in the 3rd and now early in the 4th quarter. The Knights next take on the the Oklahoma City Renegades in a couple of weeks. 41-yard kick for Tallahassee is good. And both special teams continue to be impressive tonight. First field goal attempt for the Pride, make it an 8-point advantage for Tallahassee. But Baltimore keeps it to that very important one-score deficit. So the Pride kick it away. They are now up 8. Both teams have tacked on field goals in the second half. It was a 21-13 game when the two teams hit the locker room. We have had just one offensive touchdown since each team had the ball twice. First down and 10 from the 32. More receivers, trips left for Mike Dazzo and the Crabs. Still trying to rally back from a 15-point deficit. Dazzo is still not sacked, and he got rid of the ball. And no intentional grounding called. That's what Tallahassee's looking for, but the officials really got the ball past the line of scrimmage, and what a job by Mike Dazzo avoiding another sack. Brilliant maneuvering there. Dazzo deep, has a man, DR Sim to the 24-yard line. DR Sim, the man is a deep ball playmaker. McCormick one-on-one to the outside, not fast enough. And again, Dazzo right on the money. DR ballin'. 3 backs in a backfield, under 11 to go. And Dazzo will flip it out to Snyder, and again, Snyder gets just 1 yard on the catch. Julius O'Neal on the tackle, and if Tallahassee's game plan coming in was to stop Snyder from being a menace, they have certainly succeeded in that. DR Sim seemingly single-handedly keeping Baltimore in this contest. Outdat, meanwhile, is not. Dazzo back to pass. He will look Sims' direction on a double move. Past the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. First down, Crabs. That was a pretty route. Watch DR Sim on this route. Whoop! And McCormick didn't know what hit him. DR Sim is taking over this drive. First and goal at the 9. This is the 4th time tonight Baltimore has entered the red zone. The first 3 times they came away with just field goals. High formation handoff to Elliott Snyder inside the 5. And Elliott Snyder has a touchdown! Crabs! And Baltimore will go for 2. For the tie. 9:40 to go in the game, and Dazzo's pass is caught by a wide open receiver. 24-24. Baltimore has successfully erased a 15-point deficit. No one guarding the non-star in the flat. From the 9 to the 27. Nurse Sim really putting it on. How's that? 1st and 10 at the 27 for the Pride. 16 carries, 60 yards for Dwayne Lane, but Alexander West is struggling in the second half. Back to pass, West, pump fake, flips it out, Lane, and Lane is stopped by Hittner, only a 3-yard gain. Henry Hittner has been excellent in bringing down Dwayne this evening. Two backs and two receivers, a 4-3 defense out of Baltimore. This game was 21-6 in the second quarter. After McCormick's pick 6, the handoff goes to Dwayne Lane, and Lane picks up just 3. Tallahassee has not scored an offensive touchdown since their second drive of the game. Baltimore defense really cracking down, specifically Alexander Brown, who finally woke up and has 2 picks today. 3 receivers, West back to pass. West facing a blitz. It's picked up and deep down the field. It could not be caught. And West is looking on like, you got to be kidding me. Frederick Holloway was the intended receiver, and it goes right through him. Like a ghost. And Baltimore's going to get the football back with plenty of time, with a chance to take their first lead of the game. Packing in the viewers for the final quarter. Anyone you know, bring them on in from the 29. Baltimore to the 34-yard line. Easily could go down as the best game this year with a thrilling finish. A wild first quarter full of offense, a wild second quarter full of defense, and big defensive plays for that matter. One wide receiver either side for Mike, and Daza will flip it out to Sim, and Sim makes the play! 10-5 touchdown! The doctor is in! The Crabs have a lead! Oh, mama! There goes that man! Baltimore has taken over at Wayland Corporate Field. Extra point for the Crabs is good. 31-24. The Crabs have outscored Tallahassee 25-3 since being down 15. What a turn of events as the Pride's offense desperately needs to get back going. Tackle made at the 28-yard line. The Pride defense, which gave up just 2 touchdowns in the first 6 quarters, has given up 2 touchdowns in the last 16 minutes. First and 10 at the 28-yard line for Tallahassee. West will drop to throw. West nearly sacked. Finds Dolman and a nice hit in the open field by Brown. Sets up a 2nd and 6. Brown and Dolman jawing. Dolman has been active often for the Pride tonight. But the difference in this game, when Baltimore finally figured out they needed to get a body on Jordan Jennings. West with Lane in the backfield. Back to pass. West flips it outside right. Pass caught by Kidd. First down. Tallahassee to the 43. Kidd, 4 catches, 34 yards, and a score tonight. For all league news and information, including history about our league, our schedules, and our absolutely phenomenal stats, brought to you by DAC Stats and Dactronics, officially partnered with the Simulation Football League. Head to our website at simulationfl.com. First and 10 to the 43. West back to pass. West flips it outside, and that pass is incomplete. Looking for Lane, ran his route too wide. 2nd down. Shout out to all of those of you in the chat tonight. Big Willie 54, Bobby Digital SH, Darth Destro MD, Dazzle 47, DHMYC, Dr. Sim 80, Ebenezer, Flava 2K, Heavy Hitter 55, I'm an FM Problem, KJ Nasty, Marcus Amore, Raging Cajun 1, Ramos Lynn, San Antonio, Terraca Streaming, TJ Cagas FLT, Paternity True Shot Caller 1, Wang Chung Young, Xanthos, and X Factor 56. Happy to have you along for the ride on a 3rd down and 7. The Pride will have the football at the 46 following a Lane 3-yard run. Jennings just 1 catch since taking over in the 2nd quarter. 3rd and 7 at the 46-yard line. West to throw. West has time over the middle of the field. Pass is incomplete. And the Pride will have to punt it away again. Holloway again coming up short. Jennings blanketed. And the Pride can milk some clock here up by a touchdown.
Whoa, you gotta bring your A game to play with me.
Baltimore could complete one of the biggest comebacks in league history. The largest is 20. I'm not really actually sure what the 2nd biggest comeback in league history is. It could be tonight for all I know. 1st and 10 for Baltimore, their own 21, and Tallahassee has got to put a body on DR Sim. They need to jam him. And Ebenezer Taylor needs to get some pressure. He's got a sack tonight. Sim is to the top of the screen. 3-4 defensive look, and Dazzle will drop to throw. Dazzle over the middle, that's Sim, and he picks up a 4-yard gain. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Once again, our next broadcast is Saturday, 4th of July celebration spectacular from Transcorp Stadium in Oklahoma City as the Renegades trying to avenge a home loss to the champion Minneapolis Maulers from last season as the defending champs try to avoid an 0-2 start. Maulers and Renegades Saturday afternoon here on Twitch as Luke Johnson gets his 3rd sack of the night. A 3-yard loss and a blindside hit to Mike Dazzo, who has just been absolutely punished all night long, and it's 3rd and 9 now. Down to 5:40 to go in the ball game. 5 wide receivers, and out of the shotgun is Mike Dazzo. 4 down linemen, 5 in the box for the Pride. Dazzo back to pass. Dazzo looks short, and he will not pick up the 1st down. Tackle made by number 29. And it's 4th down and 4, and the Pride defense does their job. Keeps it within a 1-score game. Tallahassee has got to find a way to get Jordan Jennings back involved in the game. A lot of deep routes for Jennings here in the second half have been ineffective. Maybe they need to start going back to the short game. And Tallahassee nearly blocked that one. That was really close. From the 34. Good punt. And a nice spin move there to pick up 5 yards on the return. First and 10 at the 39-yard line. Good field position for the Pride. Trailing by 7. Winner goes to 2-0. Joins New York atop the SFL. Our next opportunity to see a 2-0 team would be San Francisco on Sunday. Lane has had a pretty decent afternoon, or evening I should say, for the Pride. For all of you first-time viewers, we hope you're enjoying yourselves tonight. Stay with us throughout the season as West pass is caught. The official fell over all the way down to the Baltimore 43-yard line. That is a gain of 18 yards. Drayton Luke with the catch for a Pride first down. And when your top guys are covered, you got to look to your non-stars for support, and Luke comes through. Hand off to Lane, and another offside penalty here for the Crabs.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 96.
Fourth time Baltimore's jumped offside tonight. That'll bring up a 1st and 5 at the Crab 38-yard line, which nearly puts Tallahassee in field goal range, although field goals aren't going to do the Pride much here in the next minute or so. Again, Baltimore, since trailing 21-6, has outscored Tallahassee 25-3. In a total flip-flop in this game. Jennings, bottom of the screen, and the handoff goes to Lane, and Lane quickly, you could see it in the feet. Oh, there's no room here. No room at the end, says Joe Dazzo. 2nd down and 6, coming up on 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Can the Pride reverse this second half curse? They were brilliant in the second half against Orlando. Quite the opposite here tonight. And off to Lane around the right side. And Dwayne Lane thrown around like a sock puppet. A loss of 1 yard brings up 3rd and 7. Tackle made by Saylor. And another big 3rd down play. Loudest Wayland Corporate Field has been tonight. Full throat, 3rd and 7. 4 receivers, and West will flip it outside, and Jennings can't turn the corner. 4th and 1 at the 34. And if you're the Pride, I think you got to go for this here. Unless you want to pin him deep and flip field position, that's another option. But they're not going to take that option with the way that DR Sim has taken over this second half. I wouldn't either. 4th down and 1, and the Pride are in the shotgun. 2 receivers, and West is going to throw on 4th and 1. And West floats it down the middle, and the pass is tipped, and it's a turnover on downs. More great defense out of Dwayne Blackwell and the rest of the Crabs. And the Pride just have not been able to attack down the field in the second half. Just, again, throwing into traffic, throwing into double coverage, looking for stars down the field. Everyone well played by Baltimore. First and 10 for the Crabs, trying to put the game away. A 15-point comeback, handoff to Snyder, right-hand side, and Snyder only picks up a yard. Snyder just 77 yards on the ground tonight. 2nd and 9, but the clock keeps rolling. Do the Crabs have what it takes to hold off Tallahassee? And Tallahassee has looked a bit like an expansion team in the second half. Baltimore, the wily veterans. 2:42 to go. Dazzo hands it off to Snyder. And we're just waiting on Elliott Snyder to just pop one loose like he did on the first play of the game, at least for Baltimore's offense. Just hasn't been able to do it tonight. 3rd down and 7. The Crabs do not have to snap the football again before the 2-minute warning. And if I were the Crabs, I wouldn't. And when I do, I would look at Sim immediately. With that, we have hit the 2-minute warning. Baltimore 2 minutes away from completing their epic comeback. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the Baltimore Crab Radio Network.
The Crab Call lives here. 96.1 FM, WBCR, The Drive.
3rd down, 7. Dazzo starts under center with 2 in the backfield. 3 receivers, 2 to the short side left. Tallahassee in a 3-2 defense. Pitch to Snyder, and Snyder cannot get outside. Only a 3-yard gain, and the Pride burned their first time out, and it looks like they will get one last shot to try to force potentially overtime in this game. We have not had an overtime this season in the SFL so far. We've seen both of these teams get close to blocking punts. No block punts yet tonight either.
Oh yeah, Leonard, I'm coming. I'm blocking this.
Runs away, low snap, and the Pride got closer on that punt than likely either team really has been all season to blocking a punt. That was a really low, poor snap. And the Crabs just survived danger. 1st and 10 for Tallahassee, back at their own 23. Three receivers, West back to pass. West in trouble and he goes down. 2nd and 15, a loss of 5, an untimely sack for the Pride. Out of the shotgun, 3 receivers. West to throw, down the middle, caught. 10-yard gain, 3rd down and 5. 90 seconds on the clock and counting. 4-down territory here for Tallahassee. 3 receivers, 3-3 defense out of Baltimore. West back to throw. West hit as he throws. It's incomplete. 4th down and 5. And if I'm Tallahassee, I mean, you got no choice. You can't stop the clock. You only have 2 timeouts. Baltimore at this point could take a knee 3 straight times. Well, not necessarily. But Tallahassee trusting their offense more than their defense in this situation. And with 4 receivers, West will try to keep the game alive. And it's tipped, and it's caught! Caught off the tip! Calvin Kidd, 1st down, Pride! West back to throw. He goes deep, and it's incomplete! Knocked away from Jennings. Alexander Brown comes up crucial again, but what a play, I believe, made by Asante Dolman to keep the game alive. What is it with Baltimore Crab defenders tipping it to receivers on 4th down? Jeez. 58 seconds left. Tallahassee still alive, barely with a pulse from the 38-yard line. 3 receivers. Lane in the backfield with West. West back to pass. Will flip it out to Lane. And he's not going to get much, and the Pride are going to have to burn a timeout. It's now 3rd and long. Tallahassee desperately trying to right their wrong they created here in the third and fourth quarters. Two receivers either side, a 3-2 defense out of the Crabs. West back to pass. West over the middle, the pass is incomplete. It's fourth down again. More terrific defense down the field by Dwayne Blackwell. Do the Pride have more fourth down magic left in them? If they don't, the game is over, and the Crabs and Knights will go to 2-0. Out of the shotgun, West needs the 48-yard line. West back to pass against the blitz. West in trouble. He goes down at the 27. Baltimore 2-0. And in the end, it was the Baltimore defensive line, not the Tallahassee defensive line, that made the biggest play of them all. The Pride suffer a heartbreaking loss. That takes them down to 1-1. And the Crabs get a big victory here tonight as the Pride burn their last time out. Dan Stevens, Peter O'Keefe coming up with the 2K Sports post-game show from the SFL studios in San Antonio. Again, our next broadcast, Oklahoma City hosts Minneapolis Saturday, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Our Sunday showcase game this week features the Louisville Wolfpack. They host the San Francisco Bulldogs. As you look at Mike Dazzo, a season-high 436 yards passing in this game. That is a current season league record. And our Money Monday game this week, make sure to be here in the chat, win some cash. It's another game in a battle of undefeateds as the Santa Fe Gorillas travel to the Honolulu Legends, as we see what both of those teams are truly made of after wins over Cleveland. But tonight, it's the Baltimore Crabs celebrating a 31-24 victory. A wild game. A wild game ends in victory formation for Mike Dazzo, who once again shook off early interceptions for victory. Dan and Peter will take it away, and we will come back after them briefly here on the Baltimore Crabs Radio Network. 31-24, Baltimore.
That will do it.
Dan, I want to point out something on that last play. Did you notice the job he did in letting the play clock wind all the way down before snapping the ball? That's good clock management.
With that, let's look back at some of the plays that made the difference in this one. That was an exciting game. So let's not waste any time in getting to the highlights in our post-game show. Let's get started in this one early in the third quarter. Number 21 shows some great awareness here as he gets himself into position to pick this one off. The Crabs still in the third quarter. The ball at the 47. Number 7 would find his target on this one. That set up a 34-yard field goal. Still early in the third, the Pride ahead by 5. Number 23 would get the carry here. Good blocking up front, and it helped to spring it. The Crabs, midway through the third, number 7 went to the air trying to convert on third down, and he found his man. Unfortunately, the drive stopped shortly afterwards, and they had to punt it away. The Crabs down 21-16. Number 23 would find an opening here, and he was off. Unfortunately, they could not capitalize on the play. After driving 34 yards on 6 plays, Griffin would come on and connect on the field goal try. The Pride connect on the field goal. Still early in the fourth quarter, the Crabs behind by 8. Number 7 is back to throw, and when he gets an opportunity to step up, these are the kinds of throws he makes. This was a big one. They tie it up 24-all. The Crabs still in the fourth. Number 80 came up with a big play as he was able to pull this one in. A 65-yard touchdown for the home team. The Crabs leading 31-24. Number 7 would drop back and deliver a strike on this one. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on the big play, and they turned the ball over on down. Late into the fourth quarter, the ball at their own 27. Number 7 went up top on fourth down as they decide to go for it, and it turns out to be the right call. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on the big play, and they turned the ball over on down. And that's where we'll have to leave this one. The Crabs edge out a win, 31-24. Finally, let's give it up for our 2K Sports Player of the Game.
Number 80 left no doubt as to why he's one of the greats. Well, he was the best player on the winning team. It's as simple as that. We'll see if he's able to keep up this high level of play in the games ahead.
For my partner, Peter O'Keefe, this is Dan Stevens saying goodbye until next time.
From all of us at Wayland Corporate Field in Baltimore, Maryland, and back at our SFL studios in San Antonio, Texas, this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football Network, and I've been your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine. The Baltimore Crabs defeat the Tallahassee Pride 31-24. Oklahoma City hosts Minneapolis on our next broadcast Saturday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. See you on the flip side. Good night from Maryland.